So, to mount my brand spanking user interface board, OLED display keys inside the case, I need a little bracket. That is not really a bracket, it will be, yeah, out of an old DVD-ROM, a metal plate. And of course there will be some isolation material with the right size. And yeah, somewhere here, I guess. And yeah, the measurements for that should be quite easy because I can actually take the measurements of the board and just add the width of the support strut I have here, and this is, yeah, 12 millimeters. Let's say 12 millimeters. So basically size of the board plus 12 millimeter. Should be easy. Okay, yeah, this looks a little bit different because I decided I don't need really that screw here. I mean, there's no mechanical load in this area besides me putting on the connector, and yeah, I'll be careful, and this making a cutout here is too much of a hassle. Yeah, so this should fit now like this. And all I have to do is now drill holes and screw it on and cut a piece of isolation sheet for in between the board and that bracket. Yeah, I almost forgot a puny little detail. Yeah, this is going this way around. So we're looking at the top of the case, yeah, from the bottom. And it's almost as it was made for it, huh? But anyway, you remember this, can you see it? Maybe I should draw that. That's a bit better, I hope. So yeah, this is one edge of the bracket, and you see this is not quite fitting. I'm missing here a few millimeters, and yeah, that has to go. No way around it. So yeah, this seems to be a good job for the Dremel, doesn't it? Yeah, well, this is a most interesting place to work in. So yeah, this is really just holding LEDs, so I think we don't need a full H here. Okay, maybe a little OCD kicked in here, but yeah, this should be fine now. Yeah. See the black line? Perfect. No interference and maybe a millimeter to spare. That's wonderful. Now I have to do this part here because this is still, yeah, going out, of course. Has to go. Okay, that was a little bit of getting shaky, so I had to cut it out, but yeah, not the nicest piece of work, but sufficient. And besides you, nobody will ever see that again. And I will refrain on zooming in. So for holding LEDs, this is 3 LEDs. This is still plenty of material, and yeah, looks good. Give you a little, also for my confirmation. Yeah. Hope that works. Otherwise I have to find a smaller screw and take something out here. But yeah. Now the question is where to place the board, and how can that be calculated or measured? I have to think about that. So yeah, I removed the bracket and put it in here, assuming that it is centered, and it should be centered quite good. And I taped down my board just a wee bit. We have here a nice enough gap, and yeah, hopefully this is where my bracket should go. The other bracket, my bracket. Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, I guess it's time to drill. Well, that was an absolute nightmare to set up. Yep. Obviously, I cooked off the drill. Fuck. Still have other options though. And more 3mm drills, of course. This is not good. This is a nightmare. Okay, I need a file. Okay, now, after filing a little bit around on the holes, my bracket is now connected to the other bracket, or my plate is, mounting plate is connected to the bracket. Whatever. Yeah. Number 0. Never try to drill steel with 5,000, 6,000 RPMs. Yeah, never do it. Use the right tool. Take the right tool for the right job. So it was in the end quite okay to use simply yeah, the drill, but the Proxxon Dremel not the right tool for drilling steel. Then number 1, the right procedure. Step number 1, mark the first piece alone. Drill the holes in the first piece. Then 3, use the holes in the first piece to mark the holes in the second piece. And 4, drill the holes in the second piece. And don't try any shortcuts. Do as I say, not as I do, okay? Next step, hopefully a little bit more easy. Place the board here. And mark the holes. Yeah, worked. Great. Can you see it? Yeah, there. And okay, this will shake your world again. This is quite at the edge, isn't it? The center punch the stuff and drill it. Oh yeah, this is really a little bit on the edge, but that's okay because it's working out for us. Yeah, clean up the holes a little bit and cut the isolation sheet. Drill some holes into the isolation sheet. Using your first piece, your piece as a template. Template is the word I'm searching for. Mount the board. And do not forget your washers. And if you think that something is not quite as you want it to be, don't be afraid to admit it. Disassemble the whole thing again and do some filing. Which I will do off camera again. And now it fits together much better. Yeah, there's no more gap here. Perfect. And now we put it back into the case, which should be no problem at all. I forgot something. I have to shorten these screws. Fortunately, you don't need a bolt cutter to shorten these nylon screws, which are nylon bolts because they have a nut Okay, that goes in this way. And the end result so far looks not too bad, does it? It was quite an adventure to get there. Now, mechanically, this is okay. So yeah, a little bit of flex up, but yeah, you press micro switches. So I put some scotch tape on the micro switches, and the idea here is to put on a whole lot of edding and then quickly put on the lid and hope that they are printing inside. And okay, prints. And now we can guesstimate and drill. Well, before drilling we could actually do some sanity tests. I mean, we know, but for that one point, that all these markings should be in exactly one line. And that line should be parallel to, yeah, our case. It looks good to me, but you never can be too paranoid about these things. Because looks can deceive. Yeah, maybe I was not quite in the middle of the smudges, huh? Oh, we keep that in mind as we go along. The second thing we know is between each of these smudges should be a certain distance. And I will look that distance up right now. So on the board layout, these are all 9mm apart. So I've set that up for 9mm. Cannot fit the calipers in here. Just another sanity check. Total distance between the two outer switches should be 36mm. 63, not 36. 63. So the only problem I have now is the two offset buttons. I need something to get in here to have a right angle. Sometimes your bank card can come in handy. Obviously, the next two measures that I'm missing here are the distance. So, and that would be 7mm from center to center. So, yeah, from the center line, 3.5mm each. And okay, and because I'm really paranoid, I'm center punching in plastic. Remember, center punches near glass are a real hazard. I wonder if I will be able to drill at least the first 3mm with a drill stand, because yeah, I mean, this has quite some depth here. Oh, we see. Okay, I guess I will have to drill now. And no, yeah, no way I can get that under the drill stand. Yeah, I will clean up now a little bit. I can tell you it went not as well as I hoped it would. Not too bad, but I guess I need to make some corrections. Maybe the smudges were not on the right place. So I'm marking now. So 45 degrees that direction. So I will now try with a 4mm drill to extend the holes only in the right direction. And hopefully we will get a fit by the time we get to the 5mm. And this time I actually secured it with a lot of wood under it, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. I actually drilled with 3.5mm. I'll check if I have to change directions before I go to 4mm. Yeah, as you can see, some slight changes in directions for some of the holes, especially the black one. I was a little bit wrong there. And again, I will change if I have to move in other directions or if I'm on the spot. The directions are still good. Next stop, 4.5mm. And reality check off camera. We're still going to the right direction, but we are not there yet. I guess we will have to get up to 6mm. Yeah, let's do it. 5mm. Okay, the usual reality check. As you can see, we have new directions. Dot is simply straight down. And yeah, the only really worrisome left is the black button, which I obviously drilled wrong the first time. Yep. Meanwhile, we are at 6mm, and yeah, slight correction here. Still for the black one, big correction. 6.5mm, we're getting there, and again, slight corrections. We're at 7mm. I hope that's it, because there's not much meat left here where I can make bigger holes. Yeah, now finally my buttons are there. We need the cutout for the display. And obviously I can't do that from the other side with the adding marker method because the display area is much smaller than the glass, and yeah, anyway, that adding method didn't work out that well. So what I've done here is I took again a one-to-one printout of my board and made holes in it, and we should be able to align these holes exactly. Let me change the angle. Yeah, align them exactly over here. And yeah, obviously I have to cut the paper first a little bit smaller, and then we can mark the cuts for the display. And that's a job for the Dremel. Okay, let's do this. I think I need a larger blade to really cut through, huh? Because, yeah, This plastic is obviously really, really thick. Let's try it with this blade. It's only a little bigger. We are through. Yeah, well, there's only so much you can do with a Proxxon / Dremel. Gruesome, isn't it? Okay, let me clean up this mess a little with the file, and then we see if we actually really hit the display. It seems I hit the display, almost, and it's still everything working. I guess I will take another few millimeters off at the top, huh? I think I filed that off and then put everything in a 45-degree angle. Well, I used every file in my arsenal, small file, and yeah, I think that's start. Yeah, but it's not too bad. I mean, you can read that from any reasonable angle now, and yeah, I configured the whole opening with the files, and as long as I don't zoom in, it doesn't look bad. Okay, I can clean that up with a little bit of fine sandpaper here, the corners, but not too bad. I'm thinking about doing the same for the keys. Obviously, I will run here in a little problem with these two because there's not much material here, but yeah, well, I can't really make it worse, can I? In the end, it didn't work out as quite as I expected, but yeah, the end result is okay. I mean, working in that case was not that easy, and yeah, I guess, I mean, that hole a little bit off, that's totally, yeah, my fault, no doubt about it. I mean, everything is my fault, but this was, yeah, yeah, I messed up there. But generally, that the buttons are all off a wee bit. I think the problem here was when I used the adding method and I put the case on, that the buttons, and I put the case not, yeah, straight down, but put it down on the back side and then put it down. That the buttons flexed a bit and made the impression or the adding print a little too far in this direction. Yeah. Second, instead of trying to you know, using a caliper and ruler and a cut up credit card to mark all the holes from the inside, then I could have taken my paper template, the layout of the board, and put that inside over the prints, over the adding prints, and used that as a drilling template. This would probably have worked out a bit better, but yeah, yeah, as long as you look at it from a distance, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, nobody would dare to zoom in on that horrible thing, would they? Bye.